Yeah, Mid-America Angels was very obviously helpful with the funding they provided, but I think walking me through the process of raising capital was equally, if not more important. So my name is Chris Cheatham. I was the CEO of a company that was first called ClaimKit Inc. That the Mid-America Angels invested in. I think that was back in like 2014. The company and that product were acquired in 2021. And then everyone was happy. When you're trying to raise money, it's a lot better to have a warm intro, whether that's individual to individual or network to network. But Mid-America Angels helped me get into the Nebraska Angels. Then we got a major investor called Nelnet from that group, as well as other investors. Yeah, it was just really, really helpful to get into those groups. I frankly didn't even know they existed until Mid-America Angels was able to help me reach out and connect.
Getting investments from angels, especially early on, is critical as you're getting those ideas up and off the ground, especially as a first-time entrepreneur, right? And so being able to have angels that can come in and really get to know you, have some domain expertise, be able to pull folks into the equation and into the conversation was huge for us. So my name is Toby Rush. I like to talk about myself as a farm kid from Kansas. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done a couple of companies. Angels have been a part of every company I've ever done. Mid-America Angels in particular have a part of my very first company and my second company, and were instrumental in the success of both of those. One of the ways I like to think about kind of the reason for taking investment at all, and angels this would absolutely include as well, is I want other people thinking about my business and my problems and incentivized to help me solve these problems. Right, so getting connected to people who might be industry experts, they might be technical experts, or they might be pilot customers. That friendly, warm referral and introduction makes all the difference in the world.
My name is Maria Flynn. I was the CEO of Orbis Biosciences, which Mid-America Angels invested in. Orbis Biosciences is a pharmaceutical manufacturing technology company that works with pharmaceutical and consumer product companies to integrate the technology into their products. Securing the funding from Mid-America Angels was very important to help us get to that exit milestone, and particularly when you consider that we were closing in the March-April 2020 timeframe when we didn't know what was happening with the pandemic. Having extra cash in the bank really helped us to be able to negotiate the best deal that we could for all of our stakeholders. I am an angel investor today, and I find it's very important to give back, but also participate in the rewards. And it's just part of being in the entrepreneurial community as I see it. Thank you to all the angels that make our ecosystem possible. We really appreciate all that you do for us.
ShotTracker was started in 2013. My co-founder, Bruce, and I actually put the first, few dollars in to help start the business. It's a fairly capital intensive business, being that it's hardware and software. So it was important for us to go out into the market, and Mid-America Angels was one of the organizations that really supported us from a Kansas City perspective. We were fortunate to raise capital just nationally with some really high profile names, and Mid-America Angels was, in the midst of all of it supporting us from the beginning. I think in the early days, it's really important to get support from people in your proximity, right? So people who are in your city, your state, because as you go out to other states, they're going to ask who's going to support it. That just helps you, because it's one thing when you don't get the support locally and you go outside. I think it makes fundraising a little bit harder. For me, I love angel investing because, I love entrepreneurs. I love being able to help these companies, and, I just love the opportunity to be able to support other entrepreneurs and somewhat provide some of the support that I've received, as an entrepreneur.
So somebody can get into angel investing by being an accredited investor. I got interested in that because I was looking for other things to invest in besides stocks and bonds. And I read about Mid-America Angels in the Kansas City Business Journal, came to a couple of meetings and sparked my interest and became a member back in 2007. What I like about angel investing is you can pick your own investments. And the Mid-America Angels, we pool investments into an LLC, and so you can determine which companies you invest in and how much. I started out small just with that one investment and had a real good experience because it exited in about a couple of years. It was a real positive returns, and then went from there.
The reason I liked being a part of a group was I really enjoyed the dynamics of a group. So when I joined WCC, I was a brand new angel investor and I wanted to learn how to be a really good angel investor. Our group invests in learning. We share our perspectives on each deal. We collaborate on due diligence. We're very open about what we like about a deal and what we might be concerned about. So it allows me to be more informed and more confident as I'm making choices on individual companies, whether to invest in them or to choose to pass for whatever my reasons might be. I've really seen the Kansas City entrepreneurial community evolve tremendously. So definitely within the last 4 to 5 years, but even if I think back 8 to 10 years, it's very supportive. It's very structured around people helping people. I think the key for entrepreneurs is you have to be willing to put yourself out there and you have to be willing to ask. The support structure that's in place right now, as far as incubators and accelerators and all these other kinds of programs like Pipeline, they're phenomenal for entrepreneurs. And it just didn't exist to this extent 5-10 years ago. So if you're an entrepreneur in Kansas City, you're pretty lucky. You just have to get out there and get to know people and become aware of what the resources are to help you be stronger so that you can grow successfully and rapidly, and you'll have the support of the community behind you.